it's Hunter and welcome back to my channel. It is the week before Christmas and I'm so excited. If you guys are new here, it is so nice to meet you. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you guys the vlog clips of me accomplishing my Christmas bucket list. At the beginning of November, I posted a video that was my Christmas/holiday bucket list with some activities that I wanted to do this holiday season. Just some things I wanted to do because I feel like if I don't make a goal out of something, then usually I don't get it done. I put it off until the last minute. So this was my way of making sure that I did everything I wanted to this holiday season. And the reason why I uploaded that video in November instead of in December is because I knew that there were some things I wanted to get a jump start on in the beginning. So that's kind of where we're at here. So I have clips for most of these things. I don't have clips for everything because some things were a little bit difficult to film, but that's okay. I am still so excited to show everything to you. So before I get started, I would love it if you guys would subscribe to my channel down below. And if you guys could give this video a thumbs up, that would be super helpful for me. And let's go ahead and get started. Here is my holiday bucket list right here. So beautiful. I made it on my iPad and then printed it out. So the first thing was to watch as many Christmas movies as possible. So when I was watching Christmas movies, I kind of did not film pretty much any of it. I did film my iPad that I was watching a movie on earlier, so I have that clip, but otherwise I don't have much because whenever I was watching Christmas movies, I wasn't thinking about getting vlog content. I was just enjoying watching a seasonal movie. So that's kind of what happened. I watched movies on Netflix and Disney Plus and Hulu and Paramount Plus, and I even downloaded the Hallmark channel on my TV so that I could watch Hallmark movies. And I did only actually watch one from Hallmark, but I watched a Lifetime one on YouTube, and there's just like so many Christmas movies out there and they all have the same formula. We know how they all work, but that's okay because I still love them. I still think they're so fun, and they just like they're just like really good feel-good movies. They're good to have on in the background when you're doing Christmas activities. So I watched a ton of Christmas movies and I was so thankful that I had a plethora of streaming services to choose from, so I could watch the classics or I could watch really cheesy movies. So the next thing on my list is actually something that I did not get done, and it was to go ice skating. I could not find a single person that wanted to go ice skating with me. There's a lot of downtowns during this time of year have like ice rinks outside, and I really wanted to go to one in downtown Greenville, and I actually did get to see the ice rink and I got to see people skating on it, but I didn't actually get to go skating myself. I was already downtown for a different event and I ended up taking a picture of, or taking a video of the rink because I thought it was really pretty, and it's just like a bunch of really good vibes there. The next thing I did actually this past weekend, and it is to see Christmas lights. A friend of mine texted me and said, do you want to go see Christmas lights? And I said yes. So we looked online and we found this place that is about half an hour away from where we live, and it's a little speedway kind of thing, so like where they host races, car races I guess, and they set up a lights show in the middle of the track, and you drive around the track as many times as you want to, and you turn your radio in the car to a certain station and the music is synced with the lights. So it's really cool to watch and listen at the same time, and that was really cool. And then they also had a petting zoo there, so that was really fun, and I just thought it was a really fun, exciting activity. The next thing on this list was to read Christmas books, and when I tell you I have read so many books this month because I wanted to read all my holiday books, I've read so many. So let me get my list real quick. This was one of those things that I wanted to start early because I wanted to make sure that I got through all of them. So let me find the list. I wrote it down real quick. Here we go. So here are all of the holiday books I've read so far, and there are still 2 more that I want to read. We'll see if I actually get through them. So Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey, Christmas at the Cafe by Emily Childs, Nick and Noel's Christmas Playlist by Cody Hall, Meet Me in London by Georgia Tafalo, Alaskan Holiday by Debbie McComber, A Cross Country Christmas by Courtney Walsh, The 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayless, A Magical New York Christmas by Anita Hughes, A Snowy Little Christmas by Fern Michaels, Mistletoe Cottage by Debbie Mason, Faking Under the Mistletoe by Ashley Shepard, and Duke actually by Jenny Holiday. So I've read quite a lot. This was between November and December, so I kind of have been reading like non-seasonal books in there as well, but those are the holiday books I've read so far. The next thing on my list was to make Christmas treats, and I actually didn't get any video footage of me doing this either, and I really wish I would have, but I went to a Christmas party on the 12th of this month for my husband's work, and they were like, if you were doing hors d'oeuvres, so if you want to bring something, feel free to. We're gonna have a charcuterie board Lord. And we're gonna have some desserts, but if you want to bring something, feel free. So Mason decided that he wanted us to bring something, so we got on TikTok and looked at a ton of recipes, and we found a chocolate pie, and I attempted to make a chocolate pie. The pie part of it did not turn out the way that we wanted it to, so it ended up just being Oreos, like crushed Oreos in chocolate pudding, but I made it all from scratch, and it was actually so fun. It was really hard. I can't believe how hard it was. I watched the video that we saw on TikTok like 7 times, but I just could not figure it out. We couldn't get it to be like a pie. The crust wasn't quite right, and then we couldn't get the pie to be like pie instead of like a pudding. Essentially, it was pudding. It just needed to be like a little bit harder is not the right word, maybe thicker consistency, but instead it was more like a regular pudding consistency rather than a pie, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't solid enough. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I did not get any video footage of it. After that, the next thing is to do an Advent Bible study, and I actually filmed a whole clip that's like ridiculously long flipping through my Advent Bible study, so I'm just gonna go ahead and insert that here. So this is my Advent study book. I got it from She Reads Truth, and it just says Advent 2021 on here, and it says The Everlasting Light, and then right here it says celebrating the 10 years of Advent together. So that's really cool. I started on 11/28. And then it's really like the coolest Advent Bible study I've ever seen in my life. So here's just like an introduction, and then talking about the design, and there are some recipes in here. So it has the chef that did the recipes, just shows you how to use the book, which I think is super cool. And then there is section 1, section 2, section 3, and section 4. And then this is kind of an introduction to 2021 Advent. So life between 2 Advents. So the first Advent is obviously when Jesus was born, and the second one will be when he returns. And then there is this that kind of just gives you overall, again, still introduction to it. And then it talks about the seasons of the church. So we have ordinary time is the green right here. And then it talks about Eastertide, Pentecost, and then here's Advent and Christmastide, and then Epiphany, which is the last day of Christmas. It's like the 6th day or the 12th day of Christmas. So I think this is cool. So Advent is the time before the 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas. And then you have Christmastide, which is the 12 days of Christmas, and it is December 25th through January 5th, and then January 6th is the last day, and it's Epiphany. And then you have ordinary time again, you have Eastertide, Lent. So I think it's really cool that it shows you like the formal church seasons. And then section 1, light of the world. And so on Sundays it looks like this. So it says the blank Sunday of Advent, so 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and then it has a little prayer in it. And then it just has like really cute pictures, and it has like traditions and kind of explains how they became about. And then I think this is really cool because it has you like write prayers, and there's also like a craft that goes along with it, this kind of thing. I don't want you guys to read all the stuff that I wrote, but then where light is referenced in the Bible. So that's really cool. Here is one that I thought was really cool about Christmas trees. I'm actually gonna read it for you. The first Christmas trees were called paradise trees, and they were representing humanity's fall in the Garden of Eden, traditionally brought in homes on Christmas Eve. These trees were decorated with apples, symbolizing the fruit Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Paper garlands, ribbon, nuts, and round pastry wafers symbolizing communion wafers and even candles were added to dress them up. Eventually the apples were replaced with round ornament, and candles were replaced with lights that we're familiar with today. So I just think it's so cool because it has, and here's like another recipe. And then second Sunday of Advent, and then another craft. And you can buy like the craft kits from the website too. So if you want to do them, I have not written the prayers for most of these. But then there's so much stuff. Third Sunday of Advent. And then the day that I'm filming this is the 4th Sunday of Advent. So I did this today. And then, it just has so many things. And my favorite part is actually the back. So if we go to, there's Christmas Eve, which is day 27 of Advent. And then hold on, sorry, I'm trying to get to it. This is Christmas Day, and this is really cool. It gives you kind of like a place to write a prayer of praise for Christmas, and then reflections of Christmas, so you can put all your memories and stuff. So like gifts you received, gifts you gave, who you celebrated with, what made you laugh, traditions that mean the most to you, what the weather was like, just so you have a snapshot of the year. There's also a ton of hymns in here. So there's Hark the Herald Angels Sing. There's a couple of others that are in here as well. And then the first Sunday after Christmas. And then when we get to the very end, it goes all the way until January 2nd, which is really cool. Oh, and Saturdays are grace days, which is really cool. So it gives you an opportunity to kind of just like rest and reflect on what you're reading, contemplation. And then there's a verse and a cute little picture, just representing the seasonal things. But then I think this is cool because it gives you an opportunity to catch up on any days that you might have missed. And then the second Sunday after Christmas. And then this is really, really cool. They do this in all of their Bible study books. She Reads Truth. But this one is more in depth. So It asks how you celebrated the Advent season, how did you spend time in contemplation, your favorite day in the study, favorite scripture from the study, favorite Christmas carol from this year, just reflections of the whole thing. And then it also asks for a reflection of 2021. So sorrow and joy, things you're most proud of, highlight of the year, something you learned about yourself, God taught you about yourself, something you learned about God, how you saw him in work in the last year, and then a prayer for the next year. So I think this is really cool. It's also just a stunning book. It was like $26, I think. So it's not exactly the cheapest book because you can only use it for that period of time, but I also just really think that it's really good for contemplation. And I love that it has the date so you know exactly when you did the day. So that is the Advent study that I did this year. Number 7 on my list was to do an Advent calendar, like a classic chocolate unboxing. I mean, a classic chocolate Advent calendar is just so fun. So I got myself one from Aldi. It was $10 and the chocolate in it is actually so good. I got one from Aldi a couple years ago and it was, I think, like $4 and the chocolate was so bad. Like the quality of it was so bad. It was really hard. It didn't taste good, but it was like these really tiny pieces of chocolate. But the one in this one is like genuinely such high quality chocolate and it's actually been so good, and the outside of it is really cute. It has nutcrackers all over it, and we actually have it sitting in our living room as a decor piece right now, so that's been really fun. The next thing on my holiday bucket list was to make a gingerbread house, and this is something that I have not done in years, but I decided I wanted to do it, and this year I actually got around to making one. I went to a Christmas party with a friend, or at my friend's house, and we did a gingerbread house thing. We all made some and they were super cute, and mine was really tiny, but this is the first time I've ever made a gingerbread house where it didn't immediately fall apart, and so it was really exciting, and it was just a really good time because other people, just like watching everybody get creative with theirs was really fun. The next thing on this list was something I was actually so pumped that I actually got to do. I was not sure how I was going to accomplish this, but it was to take a picture with Santa. And fun story, I am a photographer as well as YouTube, so let me back up. There's a real estate team that I have done a lot of work for in terms of photography and like media stuff. So every time they host a client event, they do one maybe like 3 or 4 times a year. Every time they host a client event, they ask me to take photos. So I was given the task of, they were hosting a Photos with Santa Day and I was the photographer. And so I sat down and asked someone to take a picture of me with Santa on my phone, and it was so cute. And the last thing on my Christmas bucket list was something I have never properly done before, and it was to mail Christmas cards. I just wanted to get Christmas cards made and send them to all of our friends and family, so that's exactly what we did. And then here is the card. It's a picture of me and my husband Mason, and it says, "We wish you a Merry Christmas, love, Hunter and Mason Freitas." And then I put a verse down here, "For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord," from Luke 2:11, because Christmas and Jesus, and it was just so cute. It was a good time. I had a good time sending Christmas cards, and I'm very happy that that was like the very first thing that I accomplished on this list. With that being said, that was the very last thing that I accomplished for the holiday season that was on my holiday bucket list. So if you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and Merry Christmas, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.